What is up, everybody, and welcome on in to an in-person installment of the Fast Five, presented as always by the fine folks over at SuperBook Sports. I'm Anilo Piro. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And in the flesh, joining me on this week's episode, the man you know is Unit behind the scenes over there at SuperBook Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at SuperBookUnit, as well as the new Instagram he has created. And plenty to talk about, my friend. Nice to have you in studio.
Let's do it. We got one hell of a setup this week. I wish we could do this every week. I think we're going to have a much better connection, much better show now that we're here sitting in person, not sitting looking at a computer screen the entire time. So let's do it. Let's get into it.
All right. Well, we got a good show for you guys. We'll talk a little Shohei Ohtani. We'll do our little MLB concessions draft, which I'm looking forward to. Mix in a little UFC, little thumbs up, thumbs down, and a little bit more as we go on throughout the program as well. But as always, guys, be sure to use my promo code APBETS when you sign up with SuperBook Sports. You get yourself a nice little bonus when you sign up, deposit, and place a wager in the same day using promo code APBETS. We just came back from a little football combine with some of the fine folks over at Altitude, and I love those guys, right? But support the little man, right? I'm the young up-and-comer. Vic, Dover, Columbus has been in the NFL, right? What does Columbus need this for? Vic has been established for a long time. Dover's my guy. AP Bets, though. Sign up with SuperBook Sports, and you'll get yourself that bonus. Colorado, Arizona, Iowa, Tennessee, New Jersey, Ohio, Maryland, Nevada, and a handful of other states coming along as well. Let's dive into it, though. The big news, you and I, we talk about it all the time, big baseball fans, and Shohei Ohtani, not expected to be traded. The Angels have pulled him off of the pulled his name out of the trade conversation. They were a little underwhelmed with some of the packages that were being offered, and they're not going to just stand pat. They're going to go ahead and make some moves and try to be buyers here ahead of the MLB trade deadline. Lucas Giolito, I believe they just brought in as one of their first little moves here. Mike Trout come back from injury. Your thoughts, Mr. Unit, on Shohei staying in LA?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this could definitely backfire on the Angels because they have already gave up just last night for Lucas Giolito and Ronaldo Lopez. They gave up their second best prospect and their third-ranked prospect. One's a switch-hitting catcher, which we know is extremely valuable. This could come back and backfire because they're going to trade away their future, and they might not be able to keep Ohtani next season when he's a free agent. But I'll give props to the Angels because they're going to give us some entertainment. If they're going all in, I want to see the Angels make the playoffs. Mike Trout's been to one playoff series in his entire career. He's one of the best baseball players ever already, and they got swept by the Royals, I think. So hopefully they're able to put something together and make a postseason run so we could see them, even if it's just a first-round exit. I want to see more Shohei Ohtani. I want to see Mike Trout once he gets back on the field, and hopefully he's still checked in once the Eagles preseason starts and the Eagles season starts. So hopefully he's focused on baseball, not the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. He's had a lot of seasons in a row to, transition his mindset from baseball to football. But, maybe the Angels have a little run in them. And I know you and I have talked about on this show as well as privately, Twitter as well, a Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout deep postseason run would only mean good things for the sport. Like, even if you're a fan of Seattle or Texas or teams that play in that division, you need to see Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout on the big stage together. And you mentioned it. Trout's only been in the postseason one time in his career, and it's just a travesty. Imagine LeBron James being in the postseason one time in his career. Or Kobe Bryant being in the postseason one time in his career. Like that is this kind of player with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, who's never made the postseason. So I do think from a long-term perspective, it may be a little bit of a mistake from the Angels because should he leave, all you get is that contemporary pick. But I got to respect the ability to Artie Moreno, who's been a little up and down as an owner, but saying, hey, this is my guy. We got the most unique, best player in baseball. We might as well try. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down swinging. And so I can respect the thought process from the Angels about not making this move or keeping him, I should say, on the team as opposed to flipping him for a haul of prospects.
Yeah, they have to because they haven't done anything with him. So, how are these guys going to build their legacy, talking Ohtani and Trout? You build your legacy in the playoffs, winning playoff games, winning championships. And for them, Ohtani to never be to the playoffs and Trout to only be to one playoff series and be swept, that's embarrassing. That's just sad. So, I want to see the Angels desperately. I want to see the Angels get to the playoffs. I could already see it now. The Angels getting to like a wild card one-game playoff or first round, and the Angels losing 2-0 after Ohtani pitches 8 innings shutout ball or something like that.
Yeah,
I feel like that is every Angels game. You see Ohtani go like 3 for 4, a home run, and a double, and then he just pitches shutout game, and then the Angels lose 3-2 or something like that.
Yeah, it's the way the cookie crumbles, with this Los Angeles Angels baseball team. And look, baseball is the most team-centric in the sense of you need a team to go places. You need a good lineup. You need a good manager. You need a good bullpen. You need a good rotation, right? Basketball, one man can will his team to victory. We've seen LeBron do it, back when he was young in Cleveland. Football, the quarterback means so much to the wins and losses or the successes and failures on the field. Hockey's a little bit different, much like baseball. I think those are the two sports that are probably the most similar, even from a betting perspective, with you think puck line and run line and all that kind of stuff. But baseball, for as good as Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani is, there's a reason Ohtani is an MVP, probably would have won it last year had it not been for Judge's historic season, and has nothing to show for it from a team perspective, because the game is layered and it's so much deeper than just one person. And that's where, like I said, I'm happy that, Artie Moreno and company are going to at least try to push their chips all the way in and give these guys at least one chance, should he leave in the offseason to, go on a run.
Yeah, I think they've already got off to a pretty good start, because you mentioned, a quarterback in the NFL or a goalkeeper in hockey. What matters when it comes to these big games, making a postseason run, and then once you get to the playoffs, what matters is pitching. And they've already reached out. They got a good quality starter in Lucas Giolito, who's been pretty good this year, and then the past few years he's been dominant.
Yep.
And then adding Ronaldo Lopez too. They're already making the right moves, and I'm already just refreshing Twitter every couple minutes just to see what more moves. And I think the Angels are ready, and they're gonna go after it, and they have to. I think it's gonna backfire, but it's gonna be doing a service to the fans.
Yeah, and I mean, the Angels fan hasn't had much to cheer about since they won the World Series when you and I were probably 4 or 5 years old, maybe even younger than that if I think about it. They've been little brother to the Dodgers. I grew up in L.A., the Angels are nothing compared to the Dodgers in regards to gravitas and stopping power and just the overall dynamic. I mean, they absolutely are the little brother. It's Mets, Yankees in New York, there's two really diehard fan bases. It's not comparable with the Dodgers and the Angels. There's some diehard Angels fans, but they are greatly outnumbered by people that root for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So I think it's a good thing. Ohtani was on the mound earlier this week, which is always fun to see. And for a sport that is quote-unquote dying to some people, a deep postseason run, I think, would get any casual fan into it. If you see a guy who's pitching in a postseason game and then also hitting cleanup or whatever it might be. So I'm all in on this Shohei Ohtani with the Angels move. And I think we talked about it last week. I'm not so sure he's leaving Unit. I think he's very comfortable in Los Angeles. I think he likes the atmosphere. I think he likes the non-big market pressure while still having the big market accolades of playing in Los Angeles, but not for the Dodgers. So I do think that, if I had to look at it right now, I'd say it's probably a little bit more than a 50% chance he goes back to the Angels. I really do believe that. I think he's very comfortable there.
Yeah, I agree. I think he wants to stay on the West Coast, but a lot of the stuff that we're hearing, I've never heard any of this from Ohtani. It's always just, people on Twitter. Yeah. I've never heard anything from Ohtani saying, I've heard rumors that he doesn't want to play in New York. I've heard rumors that, he doesn't want to play in the Midwest. I've heard all these teams that he's ruled out, but I've never heard it directly from him. So, but I do think he loves being in LA. So hopefully he stays with the Angels, or that little brother title is just gonna double down, and he's gonna end up going to the Dodgers.
All right, let's move along here. And interesting concept that you and I were going back and forth with. We've been doing these drafts. It's been a fun little segment that we've been doing the last few weeks. Concession items at baseball games. Last week we did college football traditions, but you and I, as we've said every single show we do, big baseball fans here. We like to go to the games. I think you and I might try to go to a game at Coors Field while you're here. Concession items draft, beer is included. We had a little debate before the show if we should include that or not. But I went first last week with my college football draft, so the floor is yours. Concession items at a baseball game, where are you going?
Yeah, I'm pumped for this. There's nothing better than going to a baseball game. When I retire, all I want to do is go to live baseball games and just buy everything at the concession stand and watch baseball. But my pick is obvious. I said it earlier. We should exclude this pick because it's too good. You automatically win this draft with this 1-1 pick. Beer. You have to drink beer at a baseball game. We should be drinking beers right now doing this draft, really, come to think of it. Beer. It's easy 1-1 pick, and I think the draft's already over, and you haven't even made a pick yet.
I disagree completely. And I love beer. Don't get me wrong. An ice-cold beer at a baseball game, fine. I'm also not a big drinker, so I think that kind of after I drink 5 or 6 beers, as I've witnessed with you in real life, my stomach starts to inflate a little bit, and then I'm thinking more about my stomach than the actual game. So I respect it. I think about 97% of the people out there would probably agree with you that is the creme de la creme item of a concession at a baseball game. Miller Lite especially. For the
you're also going to Rockies games where I feel like you need beer double the amount. You need extra beer to watch Rockies baseball games.
$14 is not the most economical Like not that
Okay.
anything at a
Are
ball
we
game
making
is,
price
but
against?
I'm just saying. Like,
Everything's expensive at a baseball game.
I'm keeping everything in. Well, okay, you go with beer. You like to drink. I like to eat. So
Okay.
I'm going with a munch.
I like to do them both at the same time. So.
Fair enough. All right. So he went beer with his first pick. I got 2 picks back to back. So we're going to go versatility here a little bit. 2 different food items. I'm going with the glizzy. And I know it's another basic baseball item, but to me, if I had one item at a baseball game, that's all I have a one ticket for any item. Beer, hot dog, insert item here. It's absolutely a hot dog. 10 times out of 10, maybe with a little ketchup on it if I'm feeling a little frisky, if I'm being honest with you.
That's foul.
And
you cannot do that.
We'll see, what you go with some of your other selections, but hot dogs in baseball, a tale as old as time. And to me, the big hot dogs are always fantastic as well, but there's nothing better than sitting down right as the game starts, first inning, a little mustard, a little onion, maybe a little relish. Like I said, if you're not Chicago, maybe a little ketchup if you're feeling it. A little sauerkraut.
Dip it in your beer? You dip it in your beer? I've seen that before.
I can't do that. My first pick, glizzies, hot dogs, all day, every day. And then I'll take it back with my second pick because, sometimes I don't always want to be munching on something so heavy. I want like a nice little snack in between.
I know exactly where you're going here.
And, I used to play ball back in the day. My second pick, I'm going sunflower seeds.
Wow.
Big fan of sunflower seeds because, baseball is a thinking man's game. You've got to be locked in, concentrated on the next pitch. What is it? Eat, spit, be happy. I think that's what they say on the back of the
slogan.
David. Yeah. A little wad right here in the cheek and just watch it. Ball, strike, ball, strike, ball, strike. So glizzy and sunflower seeds. I think that's a bulletproof one, too.
It is great. I mean, even when I'm watching baseball games at home, I always have a bag of sunflower seeds spit into a cup.
Car, road trips.
And a hot dog is a good pick because that's what you think. When you think baseball and you think something at the concession stand, the first thing that pops in your hand is a hot dog.
You can drink beer anywhere.
Doesn't get you drunk, though. And you see the White Sox have a bell of shame that you have to ring if you put ketchup on your hot dog now?
You're not in the Midwest anymore, brother. Like,
That's
people
fair.
put ketchup on their hot dog. Look, can I eat my hot dog without ketchup?
Well, here in
Yes.
Denver, they put green
chili, which
slop
is
all over
delicious.
all the food now.
Are you not a green chili fan?
I like it separate. I can't put it on everything like everybody does in Denver, so you might have to come at me for that. But
It's a bad take. Maybe we'll do like a stew chili.
I'm full of those, apparently. So I guess I'll move on to my next pick. I don't know if I would have went the same direction. I'm going helmet nachos. Nachos, it's filling. Yeah. It's a filling item. You get a souvenir helmet with it. After you have a couple beers, you might put it on your head. After that, helmet nachos is an easy pick. It's my favorite thing at a baseball game. The first thing I'm getting, they load it up with all the works, and you get a helmet afterwards. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. You get a souvenir, and you get a fill with a huge serving of nachos most of the time.
All right. I was gonna pick that one. I'm kind of mad at you.
I'm surprised you didn't go with it before seeds, but I'm going to go where I thought you were going when you were picking seeds, which is my favorite go-to item to go along with my beer is peanuts. Shelled peanuts at a baseball game. It's in Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
What about Cracker Jacks?
Not a fan.
That's in Take Me Out to the Ball Game, too.
It is, but I'm not a fan.
So you're going to use that thought process for peanuts, but not Cracker Jacks.
I'm just not a fan, but they say peanuts before Cracker Jacks, don't they?
I guess, but Cracker Jacks are good.
Yeah, the only good thing about Cracker Jacks is the prize that they put in it.
Fair.
And there's some peanuts in Cracker Jacks, but shelled peanuts, great item. And you're at a baseball game, you could just throw them on the floor. I like that because I'm not exactly the cleanest eater. I like to just throw the peanuts on the ground.
It looks like a murder scene of peanut shells after I bust a bag of those. That's a great choice.
I feel bad for whoever cleans up. I try to clean up as much trash as I can when I'm leaving, but I feel bad for the people who have to clean up all the peanut shells.
That's a very solid choice. Honestly, those were both on my list of my next picks, so now I'm kind of having to scramble a little bit. But thankfully, I got some depth. It's always hot when you're watching a baseball game. You like to drink your beer to cool you down. And maybe sticking with the helmet theme, what about soft serve ice cream in a little mini helmet? How about that? That's an absolutely classic Major League Baseball concession item. And then you take the helmet home and you eat your cereal out of it. It's like a 2-for-1, just like the nachos to an extent. And so that's where I'll go with my next pick. I love the soft serve ice cream. I like soft serve ice cream over hard ice cream anyway. Give me a little vanilla chocolate twist, and we'll be good to go. So for my next pick, keeping it classic. Who doesn't love soft serve ice cream? Seriously.
I don't think it's the best ice cream you can get at a baseball game. Dippin' Dots.
That was on my list.
Yeah, so I only said that because I don't assume that you're going to double up on ice cream. But
Interesting.
Dippin' Dots, are the best. But I will say, I went to the SEC basketball tournament, and I had like 3 servings of Dippin' Dots. They don't slap as hard as they did when you were a kid.
You remember when they used to serve Dippin' Dots at McDonald's? You go back
I don't. When did they do that?
Way back when.
I do not
Yeah, you used to be able to
remember
get Dippin' Dots at McDonald's back in the day.
That's crazy.
Ice cream from the future. I think that's their slogan. That's why I work in branding and marketing, because I just remember slogans like it's that.
Dippin' Dots kind of were, futuristic. It kind of broke my brain that how do you get ice cream into a little sphere like that?
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
What's your go-to flavor, though, for the Dippin' Dots? I think
Cookies and cream.
Yeah, easy choice.
I like the mint chip, too.
I don't think I've ever had that, but the rainbow is not bad either. It's more of like a sherbet.
Yeah.
You got another pick, don't you?
Yeah, all right. So now it's... All right, I'll go with another snack item. And this is a classic. You can also get it at a basketball game, hockey game, football game. Give me the classic warm pretzel. Warm pretzel.
Wow.
Can't be cold.
I totally forgot about
Nacho
pretzels.
cheese, little mustard if the mustard's good. My thing is sometimes they put too much salt on these pretzels. So I always end up like doing like a little... like to get a little bit of the salt off, because I like the salt, but it's a little too much sometimes. So I will go with a warm, fresh pretzel, and I like to switch between the nacho cheese and the mustard myself.
I can't believe I forgot about that. It's not on my list, not because I don't like it. I just totally forgot about it. I kind of threw this list together 2 minutes before this, but I think I'm going to go with, for my next pick, you know what's better than a hot dog? A brat.
At a baseball game, though?
Just
Brats in the backyard
all
on the
time.
summer weekend. Baseball game.
I think anytime that you have an option between the two, you're grabbing brat every time. You got to go with the brat. I think it's, it's more filling. I think it's more flavorful. It's better. I know when you think baseball, you think hot dogs, but a brat is better than a hot dog, and I would take that 10 out of 10 times over a hot dog.
What do you put on your brat?
Nothing.
Raw dog in the brat.
Raw dog in the brat.
Not a little mustard?
No, I put nothing on it.
Onions?
I'm a very simple guy. I put
Simple man.
no condiments unless like hot sauce on a lot of things. I like things spicy, but nothing on a brat, nothing on a hot dog. I'll put celery salt on a hot dog if that's an option, but it typically isn't outside of Chicago. So, I raw dog it.
You are a Chicagoan. Love that.
I guess I have another pick, don't I?
Yep. Your last pick, I believe. You're stumbling.
You're right. You're right.
I know where I'm going.
I was thinking. No, so I already said the Dippin' Dots pick, but I'm not picking that. But I'm going to say something with a cold, tasty treat. Frozen lemonade. I love all lemon-flavored things. A frozen lemonade at a baseball game, it hits different, especially when it's like 90 degrees out. Frozen lemonade, I think that's a steal with my last pick.
It was a steal because I was about to choose it myself. I was going to choose regular lemonade that's like freshly squeezed, like at those Mr. Squeezy stands or whatever they're called. Great pick. Great to mix with vodka as well if you don't like the beer as much as I do. Great mix.
Yeah, I think I could break the record for most Italian ices or popsicles, anything. I could eat unlimited amounts, so anyone wants to challenge me, I'll beat you eating Italian ice any day.
For my final pick, I'll just do it out of spite because you stole a couple of mine. I'm going Cracker Jacks. I'm a classic American. I like Cracker Jacks. At Coors Field, they throw them out after the 7th inning stretch, and everyone, grab a thing of Cracker Jacks. So it's not, you can't have a top 5. Think about this. I've got hot dogs, I've got soft serve ice cream, and I got Cracker Jacks. That's a pretty damn big 3 right there. I know you got beer, but I mean, if you don't like to drink, you don't like to drink. You're kind of SOL. So for my final pick, I got to go with the Cracker Jacks and the pretzel, my friend. I think I got a nice solid 5.
Not a fan of the Cracker Jacks, but I am kind of jealous of the pretzel pick. But I'm happy with my board. Any honorable mentions that we missed out on? I know we took some heat on this college football tradition draft of leaving stuff out, so we should mention a few more.
I just have like the basic stuff, like the burgers, the French fries, but like that to me doesn't scream baseball. Like chicken tenders. Like I'm trying to think of other like.
You know what? I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, if we had 6 picks, it would probably be my next one. I love when they have the personal pizzas.
Fair, but not all personal pizzas are created equal.
You're right. The White Sox have a great personal pizza. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's a lot of places they'll have like whether it's Papa John's or Pizza Hut. You're right. They're not all created equal, but a personal pizza definitely hits at sporting events. Not necessarily baseball. That's more of like a football, basketball thing for me, I think. But personal pizza definitely deserves to be mentioned.
If we missed anything, let us know. But that's our draft. Who won? Unit or myself? I won.
All right, let's move into. I saw this thing on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, from the NFL page. I've been debating it with a few people the past few days. But here's the question, and we'll throw the graphic up on the screen. If you're in an NFL game and you get one chance to complete a play, which do you choose? And there are money amounts associated that you would get if you're able to complete these. But the first one for $10,000, gain 1 yard rushing against San Francisco's defensive line, 1 yard. The next is throw and complete a go route to Tyreek Hill to win $20,000. Catch a pass against Sauce Gardner for $50,000. Block Micah Parsons for $100,000, and then for $1 million, break a tackle from Aaron Donald, several-time Defensive Player of the Year.
I know I'm biased. I'd say that blocking Micah Parsons is harder than breaking a tackle against Aaron Donald. That's not my pick, but I'm just saying. Micah Parsons is a man amongst boys, my friend. I respect this list. I'll go first. And I think you might have an idea of where I'm going if you know what I call this team during football season. They are the San Francisco 49ers, ladies and gentlemen. And I would absolutely – I'm 5'6", all right? I could gain 1 yard against this 49ers defensive line. Bosa. I would just probably talk about Democrats, and that would get Bosa to look the other way or something like that. I could absolutely – get 1 yard against a San Francisco trench, whatever you want to call them.
You're guaranteeing that? So you just
49ers.
You're already spending the $10,000.
Yeah, I'm spending $10,000. 49ers.
Okay, so I think these last three, catch a pass from Sauce Gardner, or catch a pass against Sauce Gardner, block Micah Parsons, or break a tackle from Aaron Donald, all three are impossible for a regular human being. NFL players have a hard enough time against these guys. No way a guys like us would even stand a chance. So I'm ruling those three out. They're impossible for person. The throw and complete a go route to Tyreek Hill. If you have a good enough offensive line, you could just drop back and throw the ball as far as you can and hope someone like Tyreek Hill is good enough to catch the ball. And then the game 1 yard rushing against San Francisco's defensive line. If you have a good enough offensive line, once again, I think anyone who can move decently well can fall forward for 1 yard with a good push. So I don't know how many attempts you get. That's not included in this post. So I think you have to go through these with these two. But I'm going to go – I'm a gambling man, if you haven't found out.
No, really?
$20,000 on the table, so double the amount of the one in San Francisco. I'm going to throw a deep ball to Tyreek Hill, and I'm going to drop back. I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm gonna just throw the ball. Tyreek Hill, he's down there somewhere. He's going to come down with the catch. He's faster than any of the corners in the league. I'm going to take the gamble and throw it to Tyreek Hill and hope maybe I'll give him a few bucks, even though he doesn't need it.
You know, we just finished up the SuperBook Sports NFL Training Camp Combine thing. You got an arm on you. I could see you dropping back to pass.
I can sling it.
I could see it. I like that. And Tyreek Hill,
give me 2 or 3 seconds of time, and I could just throw it as far as I can and hope one of the fastest receivers in the league could get under it, which he definitely would be able to. If Tua's underthrowing, I'm definitely going to underthrow, so I might have to just throw the ball immediately.
Fair enough. Yeah. I like it. So you're going with the cheetah. I think you can complete that pass. And Bosa or not, whoever it is on that 49ers defensive line, I could fall forward for a yard. Maybe a little fleet, a little fake out.
I could see you being like a fullback.
That's what I'm saying.
Center of gravity, plow through the line.
Leo Messi, best play, short kings, soccer, game that involves the word foot to an extent, depending on the country.
I think you would be hard to tackle. You'd be hard to tackle.
That's what I'm elusive. I could absolutely gain 1 yard against this 49ers.
All right, so I'm going to have an extra $20,000 in my pocket. You're going to have an extra $10,000.
And then I'll donate it to your sports book in Vegas. How about that?
All right, we'll gladly take it.
Use my promo code APBETS, though. You'll get yourself a nice little bonus when you sign up with SuperBook Sports. So shall we move along to the Ultimate Fighting Championship, my friend?
Let's do it.
All right, and the BMF belt on the line.
Yeah, very important belt. It means a lot.
Yeah, very, very important. Obviously, Jorge Masvidal gone. Nate Diaz gone. They're doing their own thing. So now in comes Justin Gaethje, who has a nice little Colorado connection here, going up against Dustin Poirier, who I have really, come to like as a fighter a whole lot. And looking at the odds right now on SuperBook Sports, Gaethje the plus 130 underdog, and Poirier coming back at minus 150 is the favorite. I think I saw something from Poirier earlier this week leading up to the fight about if this fight goes the distance, we're both going to be laughing and talking about it on the way to the hospital because that's where we're ending up. One way to describe this fight, violence. We're going to get a lot of violence in this fight, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's going to be fireworks. These guys, it's going to be a car crash. These guys are not going to look the same unless it's an early knockout, which it's extremely hard to put either of these guys out. So I think these guys are just going to stand and bang in the center of the octagon, and it might be the fight of the year. I'm going to call that right now. It's going to be the fight of the year because these guys are the two of the most violent fighters in the UFC in any weight class, and they're extremely hard to put out. There's going to be blood. Hopefully, I don't expect this to go to the ground because these guys, they like to just stand and throw and maybe not even, not much defense. It's going to be fireworks, and I wouldn't want any other guys fighting for this very valuable BMF belt. That means very much.
Yes. I think you can make a very strong case for either one of these fighters. I mean, I think there's value on Gaethje as the dog. It's our consistent segment every week. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We each take a thumbs up and a thumbs down. I will default to you. Let's start with the thumbs up, and away we go.
Yeah, I'm too nice. I'm going to give it to you again because we did the Combine, the SuperBook Sports Combine earlier today. We were doing punting. You got to feel the punt. I'll be honest, I had very low expectations for you catching a punt. I didn't think you were going to do it, but you did. It's a lot harder than it looks. You executed the fair catch, and then, you caught the ball. Ball security is job security, and you handled it pretty well. So I'll give you props to that. You get my thumbs up again this week.
I appreciate that. There's more than meets the eye. This 5'6" stature can do a little bit more than just, play soccer or whatever it might be. I thought I was going to drop it or muff it, but, you get the job done.
I know someone that did, so you'll have to wait for that video to come out to see who drops it.
And I think
it wasn't a Neil, I'll give you that.
He may have played in the NFL, maybe?
For quite a while, too.
So
even has a Super Bowl ring.
That's something to feel pretty good about. I caught a punt, and an NFL player did it. So keep an eye on it. Full video coming out on SuperBook Sports, and away we go. All right, from my thumbs up, I'll keep it local here in Colorado. I don't know if you guys saw it. If you haven't, look this up. All you got to do is Google Sean Payton on the good old interwebs. He ripped in to Nathaniel Hackett. And I've seen some people that have come out and defended Hackett or what is Sean Payton saying? Yada, yada, yada. I was at practice yesterday. I'll be at practice next week for training camp, the whole nine. Sean Payton has come into this Denver Broncos locker room and is setting the tone. They needed a general. They haven't had a general. And obviously, I'm not saying the thumbs up is just ripping Hackett, but it's more so the saying what needed to be said from someone in a position of power who's trying to change the dynamics and change the culture. And that was the vibe that I got, whether it was the press conference or just being in the media. There is a professional feel around the Denver Broncos this year that I don't think was necessarily present last year. Last season with Hackett, the training camp was a bit like a summer camp, happy-go-lucky, jumping up and down, this and that. But for Sean Payton, it is business. We're going to work. We're going to improve. And I think by essentially saying that everybody had something to blame, whether it was Russ, Hackett, George Payton, ownership, he even mentioned. Ownership, who just bought the team less than a year ago and then hired him. Setting the standard of Denver Broncos football moving forward. So Sean Payton, my thumbs up.
I actually like the response from Robert Salah earlier today. He said if you're thinking about us or you're thinking about our coaches and we don't even play till week 5, we're probably doing something right. So I like Salah's response to the Sean Payton choosing violence this morning.
He did choose violence. All right, thumbs down time.
I had one in mind before we started, but I could see in this TV in the distance, which has MLB Network on right now, and it made me change my mind. They showed the highlight of yesterday after the Grand Slam in that Rangers-Astros game. Bench clearing brawls in baseball nowadays, that's my thumbs down because they don't do anything. They just get in a big mob and they say, hold me back, and they just,
You talk a lot.
The bullpens come out and they run all the way in from the bullpen and do absolutely nothing. They don't actually fight. They call it a brawl, but it's not a fight at all. So that's my thumbs down. If they're going to get in a fight, actually get in a fight. And if you're really that petty to get angry about jumping on home plate after you hit a grand slam to go up 13 to whatever, you probably shouldn't allow those home runs if you're going to get angry about it.
Okay. That's a good one. For my thumbs down, I'm going personal. I'm a big New York Met fan. They ain't doing anything. They ain't doing anything this year. And here's the thing. If Justin Verlander doesn't waive his no-trade clause, or if Scherzer, whatever it might be, sell the team. Or let me restart that. For my thumbs down, I'm going to keep it personal, right? Because baseball season in full effect, football, this is what's front of mind. The Mets are not good this year. That's the team that I grew up loving. It's my first love. I love that team more than anything. And I love Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer from afar. But if Verlander, there's been rumors that he might, say no to the no-trade clause and not go anywhere should there be a deal in place. I mean, I guess that's what you get from signing him to that deal, but this team needs to not buy. They need to sell. They need to look getting back some prospects for Verlander and Scherzer and guys like Kana and Pham and Vogelbach. I mean, the lineup ain't good. I sit here and I scratch my head. I really do. How is this roster, this team, this season, how is this the most expensive team ever put on a baseball diamond with like two good players? One good player. And Pete Alonso ain't even that good this year. Francisco Lindor can't play in New York. Brett Beatty, I think, could be a player. Francisco Alvarez is young. I mean, they don't have one blue-chip player outside of Pete Alonso. You thought you were getting that in Lindor, who I just said isn't very good. This is the highest payroll ever, and they're failing. They're paying two dudes who are over the age of 40, essentially over $40 million a year. So my thumbs down. The Mets in general, sell at the deadline. If you got the opportunity to move Verlander and Scherzer, do it. Get some prospects back, and let's get this youth movement going.
All-time underachievers, absolutely. But if I would have known that we were going to be ranting about our own teams, I would have could have talked about for 2 hours why the Cubs should be buyers and not sellers, because we're going to win the NL Central this year.
You're going to win the NL Central, you just said.
Yeah, terrible division, and the Cubs are not pretenders. Look at the run differential. They're the only team in the whole division with a positive run differential. Things are coming together. They got the biggest win streak in the MLB right now. The Cubs are going to win the Central. They're going to make a run in the playoffs.
You and I...
No bias.
You and I think a lot alike when it comes to betting and content creation. Our opinion of our teams is where we go in different directions, because it feels like through thick and thin, you were always riding with your team, as am I, but you're doing it with a smile on your face. The Mets, I can give them... It's frustrating. Like, the Cowboys are my football team. I hate them. Like, I love them. I do. I don't know if I told you this. I boycotted wearing the star last year. I'm doing it again this year. I refuse to wear anything that has that Dallas Cowboys star on it. You know why? Because I don't have pride in this organization right now. And after year after year after year after year of mediocre performance, bounced in the playoffs, can't spike the football, can't beat Brock Purdy in the playoffs, prove it to me. I'll put the star back on my sleeve when you prove it to me. So I respect your ability to keep a smile on your face and be happy-go-lucky. I can't do it. Maybe it's the little New York that I have in me, but that's why we bet.
I like to stay positive about my teams.
I can't.
And the embarrassing things they do, I like to laugh at instead of get angry about.
I laugh, but it's just, I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm a little too emotionally invested. But again, that's why we bet, because if your teams ain't good, bet against them. Or just bet the other teams and, have some fun, get some skin in the game that way. And you can bet with my promo code APBETS over at SuperBook Sports. You'll get a nice little deposit bonus when you sign up, deposit, and place a wager in the same day. That's promo code APBETS, and away we go. All right, that's going to do it for another installment of the Fast Five, the first in-person installment. I'm going to have to take a little trip out there to Las Vegas and have some fun out there, do some more of this. I like the digital stuff, but I think whenever we're in person, we should absolutely try to do it.
Yeah, we got to do this much more often. It's a lot more fun doing it in person, and I think it's going to look much better. So,
good stuff. All right, get those bets in with SuperBook Sports. Enjoy the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, and we will chat with you guys next week.